Yo, what's going on, guys? So this time we will be reacting to The Threshold on Joe Budden's Patreon, and this video, just as like a quick disclaimer, is kind of about relationships and like setting boundaries within the relationship. So yeah, here we go. Definitely something that could trigger some people. So I want to say thank you for listening. Please give me a chance if I start saying something you don't necessarily agree with, but I don't think anything I'm gonna say is too controversial, so let's get this started. So if you're wondering why I do not have the green screen up today, it's because my kids are actually here this week, so the green screen stuff is too much to deal with. They will for sure pull it down, or it will fall on them, and I don't want to have to deal with them screaming with a green sheet wrapped around them. So, like I said, this is Threshold from the Joe Budden podcast. I'll show you one time. Patreon page. And this is going to be kind of about boundaries. It takes a little bit to get started, but let's go.
Of the like, Ice has a way of looking at things black and white, right? So he's right in his stance. Like, yo, you fucked up. You can't tell me how I should respond to your fuck up. Right? You can't. Again, I could smack Parks, right? And I only smacked him. Parks could pick me up, body slam me, stomp me out.
Okay, I don't know why this happens when I'm on here. I'm just gonna refresh the page. But again, I agree with Ish. You can't do whatever you want to somebody and try to gauge what their response should be and then get mad at them if it's a little more than you were expecting. The reason why you can't get mad is just not fair.
You can't tell me how I should respond to your fuck up.
You can't run around treating people how you want.
Right? You can't. Again, I could smack Parks, right? And I only smacked him. Parks could pick me up, body slam me, stomp me out. You can't say, yo, I only smacked you. You ain't have to do all of that. You can't say what degree somebody else's response is and if they right or wrong in how they respond to your stimulus.
Which I absolutely like. You can't walk around doing whatever you want to people and thinking that you can gauge what the response is going to be of that person and think that it's okay for you to push any buttons you want, but oh, nothing can happen to you. A lot of people walk around like something can't happen to them all the time, and I don't understand the mentality. People walk around like they're just completely protected from everything that could happen to them, but they try to act so bad even though they're not trained, they don't know how to fight or anything like that. It's a weird thing. I don't understand why people walk around disrespecting each other all the time, because if you do walk around and disrespect the wrong person one day, they might hit you, and that's not okay. So it's like you can't walk around acting however you want.
In this particular instance,
especially when it comes to a relationship like cheating. If you cheat on somebody, you can't cheat and then expect yourself to be like free reign to do, or you can't cheat and then expect the other person to not cheat or to not do this or not do that. You have no idea how the person's going to react. The person may leave you. It's your fault for cheating.
Example, in these scenarios, you can.
You can't tell somebody else how to respond.
You can.
Joe's wrong.
Because that point that we were just talking about, where the representation leaves, and now you guys are yourselves having honest conversation, that conversation that is just talking about having, saying that you can't have, that's the one about boundaries and enforcing them. So if we're not having that talk, that's exactly what that talk is. Hey, if you do this, I'm doing this. Y'all are telling me that in a relationship, you don't do that.
I don't know that many relationships where people have addressed that if you do this, I'm
doing this. So you're saying in most relationships that talk never comes up? I disagree with that.
I don't think.
This is where I don't know how most relationships work. I know how I operate inside a relationship. It might be toxic. I don't know. But definitely if certain things come up, like, oh, if you cheat on me, I might not forgive you. If you lie to me, I don't know if I'll be able to forgive you. I'll definitely look at you different. It'll change things forever. Those kinds of things I do say. So it's like I kind of understand where he's coming from. Because definitely I feel like before you jump into a relationship, some boundaries have to be talked about. If they're not talked about, how do you enter that kind of special union with someone? So like you have to address some of those things.
I don't think it comes up. I think
I
it comes
think
up
it's
when something
You
happens.
saying no?
Yeah.
You saying it don't either?
I think it comes up
Wow.
when something happens.
Wow.
But remember when you're watching this, Ice says it comes up when something happens. Remember, he also said he doesn't ask his partner if the performance in bed equates to what it used to be, and if she's still satisfied, things like that. So he may just not think about those kinds of things. Those things might not just cross his mind, like how the other person will feel if this happens. Joe definitely thinks about, oh, if I do this, what will happen? If she does this, what will happen? He likes to think of like almost like a puzzle. He's talked about relationships almost like a game, which I don't agree with it as far as that goes. But as far as like trying to predict what may happen next, I'm a little young, so that's why I do it. But I can understand like, oh, well, if you cheat on me, I might not be able to come back. Not the way Joe does it, not to that extent, but I definitely understand.
I think it's
And that's what I was saying,
I think
Joe.
it's understood.
So in most relationships, boundaries
dealing
and,
with shit as it occurs.
enforcing them is not normal practice to discuss these things.
No, not that.
All right,
thing.
so that leads me to a new question. then.
Wait,
Forget that.
Hold on.
Not
'Cause-
that thing.
Man,
I
hold
think-
on, we agree to disagree here.
No. I think that in most
Diva.
relationships, when you
Super diva.
say we're gonna go study or we're exclusive, when you make that, yo, you know, people don't, back in the day they used to be like, yo, you gonna be my girlfriend, or you gonna be with me? We gonna go study, whatever the terminology they use. That's inferred that we are
All right,
exclusive.
I got you, Ish.
It is inferred, but there's plenty of times when I get in a relationship with someone, I will ask you straight up, you want to be my girlfriend? You want to be with me? Something like that. Maybe not, do you want to be my girlfriend? That's a little elementary. I'll say, do you want to be with me? Like, do you want to make this more serious? Something like that. I'll address it very directly. And I'll ask them, okay, like before that wraps up, what are we? To make sure. Because I'm not leaving anything to second chance. I'm just not that kind of guy. I'm not gonna sit back and wonder if we're together or not. So you could do whatever you want, but I'm gonna try to act like I'm like whipped by you. Nah, don't do that. It'll never work out for you. Trust me. Like, it doesn't work. You have to look at things logically. You have to. And if you are like, oh well, maybe I shouldn't think about it this way because blah 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 regarding emotions, say fuck that. Think about it logically, especially if you don't know the person too well before you get in the relationship, because once you're in the relationship, thinking logically is going to be attached to your emotions.
Hear me out. That period during the no title phase, or even when there's a title, when a lot of men, albeit maybe men who have communication issues, but a lot of men, when they randomly blurt out the, oh, if you do that, I'm fucking you up. Or
I've always said that, hey, if you stab me or threaten to kill me, I'm going to have to hit you like a man, and I'm going to have to hit you with everything I have. And then if they know what, like, I'll joke around as time goes on. If they've ever seen Dragon Ball Z or something like that, I'll say, if you hit me or if you stab me, I'm going to hit you with everything I have, like a spirit bomb. So when I hit you, I want all of my energy to be gone, because I just can't muster up anymore. You're a grown man if you try to kill me.
they don't really mean that.
That's the only time I say. I'm just kidding, of course. Kind of, because if you try to stab me, hands off, like, get away.
They don't mean that.
I get it.
They don't mean that.
Like I said, the shot episode.
They don't mean
that same
that.
conversation.
They don't mean that. They're
Right
not
there.
saying this is not a physical abuse thing.
Yes.
This is not a
Yes.
put my hands on you, I'm hurting
But
you.
you know that
This is a language
It's a
and a
language,
slang
in
and a
our
verbiage
neighborhoods, yes.
thing in our neighborhoods. If you don't get it, then just skip this episode.
If you
Fast
come from the
forward,
hood, you're in certain
right?
cultures, you
Yo,
get
if you
it.
do this,
You just
yo, I'm
absolutely
not
get
even-
it.
Yo, fam,
Yeah.
I'm shooting this whole shit up. Like, don't play with me. If we ever went through that and you did this, I would probably do this. Oh, nah, if you did that, I would do this. Nigga, I would. I think that happens often.
I
Not
think
to that
it happens
degree.
more so.
And I think
in-
I don't think it happens to the extent that Joe is trying to portray it, like as if it's an ongoing thing that happens constantly throughout the relationship. Joe likes toxicity and he likes some kind of turmoil in his relationships. He says that all the time. So that might be the difference in how he thinks versus them.
That
Yes.
is
But that'd be one point.
The poor communication way of expressing, hey,
I
if
want
you
you to
did
do
this,
that.
I
I
would
would
be,
be really hurt.
now I would not only be hurt,
Yeah.
but my response would be of this nature. Now, is that the correct way to have that talk? No. But I think plenty of relationships
They have
out there are having that talk, which is
I
why
just had it.
to get
I
past
just
that,
had
hold
it.
up, real quick before I forget this. To get even deeper than that, and we won't have this talk now. A lot of women in a relationship know your triggers for real because you told them.
Or they've seen
Somehow,
or they
they've seen
go
them.
ahead.
your
Ish.
This is
real
so true.
partner knows
Yep.
what's going to get you there.
Oh,
And we'll push your button.
when he says get you there, what he means is push you to the furthest extent, to the point where you're most likely to potentially do something. Like they're trying to get you there. There is what I mean and what he means.
And if she's not in your best interest,
Yep.
They do it all the time.
They will
Use
push
it
your
against
button.
you.
They know what it takes.
now,
Disgusting.
wow, someone I love used confidential information that I would never share with anyone against me.
Don't
To
do
hurt.
it.
How'd you know
Don't
that?
do it.
Because at some point,
She figured
we
it
had
out.
a vulnerable
No,
conversation.
at some point,
Don't do it. Don't do it at all. Just don't. Like, I'm almost at the point where I'm like, don't even say, like, if certain things have happened to you, I don't know what these certain things may be, but if it's life altering things, don't necessarily know if you can. I was gonna say if you don't know if you could trust them, but everyone thinks that they could trust their partner, so I'm gonna say it different. If you haven't been with them an extremely long period of time, they haven't done something that was like preposterously great for your life, that helped you tremendously, don't give them ammo. Do not give them ammo, because if you give them ammo, they're going to start taking shots if anything starts going awry. And if not, once it gets to the end, if they're at all a toxic person, they're probably going to start taking shots at you personally, trying to get under your skin.
I felt comfortable enough
Yeah.
to let
To
go
let her
of
in.
my vulnerability
Yeah.
and allow you into my
And
life.
and that's the only
the
conversation that I'm talking about. In any relationship, you don't have to be of
And
that
the
nature.
second you use it as ammo,
You get vulnerable.
I'm never fucking
you-
with you again in my life.
Changes everything. I've had this happen to me. If you use something that I told you against me, one, I'm going to make it to the point where in my mind and the way that I use it, it's not going to be ammo anymore. So I'm going to first make sure that it doesn't hurt anymore, and after that I'm gonna cut you out. I can't deal with you anymore at all because I can't trust you, especially with something that's so interpersonal that I haven't told anyone besides you. If you do that, it's over. I don't care who you are to me. I don't care if you're family. If you cross me in a certain way, you'll never get me back. I'll walk past you like you're nothing. I'll never speak to you. I don't care what happens to you. I might care about you from like a far extent, like, oh, I used to care about this person, or yeah, I love this person, but I understand that there's nothing I can do and there's no reason to continue to entertain that relationship, friendship, family, whatever it is, if they're going to treat me a certain kind of way. That's just how it is. If you live a different way, you're more likely to get walked on, and you're more likely to do things that impede your future and the goals that you attain, or that you want to attain. You want to go for certain things in your life, you got to go for them. And if people are getting in the way, that's when you got to cut them.
Most people don't walk away after that, though.
I do.
Yeah,
Because if we deep enough for me to tell you my deepest,
I agree with
darkest
Ish.
those,
Mm-hmm.
and we're deep.
After- I might not leave immediately, but that's never going to get out of my mind. And I know logically, since that's never going to get off my mind and I can never get over it, I'm never going to get past that moment unless you do something to address it. Address it, apologize for it, make up. There's no way to make up for it, but try to do what you can to prove that you'll never do these kinds of things again. Apologize for it. Do whatever you got to do. If you don't go above and beyond, once you screw with me enough, or once you do enough things within a relationship, I will cut you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your mind is. I don't care what anything is about you. I will cut you because I'd rather not be with you. Period. If you're making my life unhappy for whatever reason, you gots to go, honey. You gots to go.
deep enough for you to use that against me, then we're deep enough for me to want to reconcile it with you. Maybe. Maybe.
A little different. Bro.
Maybe.
I'm different.
Okay.
You use
I mean,
my
it's a gift and
deepest,
a curse.
darkest shit
I'm not
against
gonna hold
me.
you. It's a gift and a
I
curse.
have to get away
Gift
from
and
you.
a curse.
Now I'm worried about.
Yeah. Now all my family
gotta go.
and friends tell me that I got the cutoff trigger.
I don't have too many things that I'm going to be like, oh, if you tell somebody, I'm going to be worried. It's more like, oh, if you tell somebody this thing about me, you're going to look like a terrible person because of how awful these things are. Not because I did them, but because of things that have happened. So I don't care. Well, when people start trying to act that kind of way, I know I need to get out of that mindset because I don't want anyone to be able to trap me with things that have happened to me. That makes no sense. If you trap yourself within that mindset where, oh my gosh, I can't talk or I can't do this because if I do, this person's gonna say I did this, and you haven't actually done anything bad, stop worrying about it. Or like, oh, if you don't do this, then you don't love the person or whatever. Just because people say those kinds of comments and they kind of push these thoughts on you, that's not your thinking. So you don't need to address somebody else's mind at all. It's your mind. It's your mind and how you think. If you're in a relationship and the other person doesn't decide to accept you or decides to do something super dirty to you that they knew beforehand that you wouldn't be able to forgive, isn't that them ending the relationship? It's not you ending the relationship. So don't try to think about, oh, this is the one that got away or anything like that. Because the one that got away, if you talk to them enough, they're probably going to show you why you let them get away and why you don't want them back.
Right? Like I'll cut somebody off that I love and walk by him like I don't know him. Right?
That all the time.
All my family and friends. It's a gift and a curse. Right? I could literally, if I know that that's what type of time you on, I'm good. It's never been a person that I love that I even tried to hurt with my mouth verbally. I'ma just cut you off because love don't allow you to really consciously hurt somebody you love.
I'm Puerto Rican and Panamanian and black, so I'm Afro-Latino all the way, and I think a lot of people say things that they regret and things to hurt people, and I think more often than not people have done that. I try not to do that most of the time. I won't do that. Like I mean like 90% of the time I am very, very cautious with the words I use because I know how much they could travel in the future. But past couple years I just don't care. I'm so tired of trying to be nice to everyone, and a lot of other people feel that way, and as you grow up a lot of people get that way. So trying to reel it in, I don't want to snap on people or do anything like that. That's not cute or mature. So I'm just getting to the point where I'm just not going to respond to any of it. I'm not going to respond to any of it. I don't need to. It doesn't have any weight in my life. I think that's the best way to go. In a relationship, if something happens, ultimately you should leave. If you're married or something, it becomes a lot more complicated. Marriage is, I still don't know how I view marriage necessarily, just because of all the impacts it can have on the male, literally. It's not anything sexist, it's just literally how the law is written. Alimony, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to deal with that. If everything is going to equality, I don't understand why that can't be equal. That specific thing should be equal. If it's not, why do we need the government to get involved in the marriage or relationship at all? I could put a ring on that finger. I could make it cost the same amount. And just because we do have a government paper, like, why would you feel so much different? I don't want all my asset stuff to be tied to somebody that might cut me off in the future. Some relationships last 20 years, and at the end, that kind of stuff happens. I'm not down for that.
Right? You can't, like, if you cheating on your girl, that's you thinking you're not gonna get caught. Like, you're not just deliberately trying to hurt her. But when you say certain shit with your mouth, dog, you are deliberately trying to hurt somebody.
Even if it's out of emotion.
And you
even
can't
if
get
it's
the
in spur of
relationship
moment.
back. You heard the analogy about a piece of paper. When you ball a paper up, you can iron it, you can flatten it, you can do whatever you can.
Never
It's
be the
never
same.
going to be the same piece of paper. That's the
You
thing
can't.
that you do when you say certain shit with your mouth. You can't never get this relationship back.
I hear you. Tell that to the Donut King. Hey, the Donut King started working for that donut company on the West Coast. He started saving them a whole bunch of money. Now, he made some mistakes, but one of the ways was they were selling some shit on the stick, some donut on the stick.
Sure.
And he came and said, yo, dog, why do we keep throwing these sticks away? Let's just wash the sticks. Saved the company millions of dollars, but then the company came and said, yo, dog, nah. Because his thinking was, wait, people are not licking the stick, are they?
And that's how the world works. Like, if you look at the most successful companies and most successful people, oftentimes they're connected to a story where they're not necessarily the person that did all the things that they're credited for. A huge thing with Tesla and like Nikolai Tesla and energy and all that kind of stuff, it's a huge thing with that. Like, people don't get their dues in the way that they should. Smart people gather up copyrights or things like that and they get a hold of it. So,
but we are, nigga. You can't do that. But you can't do that. But that's big business. Hey, let's just
eat you alive.
Find a way to fucking save some money. Oh, they said the
Save
white
money and
boxes
make money
from
off
the
you.
Donut King, the donuts that used to come in the white boxes whenever he started. The white boxes cost more, but that was the standard. Nobody thought to deliver donuts in any other color box. He noticed that pink boxes were way cheaper. So
many people bought them.
He found a marketing campaign, and they started delivering in pink boxes and saved the company millions of dollars. And the doc pointed out that pink boxes for donuts became the standard. That is the standard now for
everywhere.
donuts.
Wow. Yep.
I never noticed that.
Dunkin' Donuts has pink and white boxes.
Yeah, pink.
Wow.
Forgot.
Certain shit with the intent to hurt me. My nigga, it's hard for me to come back.
Like you say, you cannot unring the.
Once certain things happen, that's all I think about. So if you hurt me in certain ways, I'm gonna question everything.
Yeah, fam.
That's it.
When I tell you something in confidence and you use it like ammo, I've dated girls, right? And I see them argue with their siblings. And they will be going on each other's kids. I'm like, yo, fam, that's not her daughter. That's your niece.
Right.
How you calling your niece a whore? Like, I don't understand that. How you calling your uncle the crackhead? Like, people will use that shit against people that they love, and then 3 months later, they just back at the cookout. I'm good. I don't want no hamburgers.
I can't do that.
Fall out?
I won't do that.
Like two girls fall out?
It depends on what they fall out for.
But I'm just saying, have you see two girls in particular, because they tend to do it more.
They do.
I've seen guys fall out and one of the guys act like girls. But go ahead with your story.
When he says that, I really wonder if he's talking about the podcast split. I don't know if he is. Just I always hear the comments that he makes about them, not necessarily always, but some of the comments that he's made towards them have been kind of harsh. So
I've seen it too, but again, like in my opinion, right, it's do's and don'ts. And when you do a don't, like it's certain shit that we know what don'ts are. Like, I'm never gonna pop your chick, right? I'm never gonna do certain shit. That's a don't.
we're good people. Bad people do these things.
Just a don't.
We can't come
And a lot of people do these things.
back from that. It's really, really, really damn near impossible to come back from that. So when you cross that line and you cross that threshold, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Niggas is popping niggas chicks.
Who?
Niggas.
They are. Again, I'm not gonna pop your chick. I'm not gonna pop nobody. If I have a conversation with you, I'm not popping your chick.
Exactly.
I might dap you up. I'll pop your chick. But if we have a conversation, because I don't want nobody
So weird.
holding a conversation with me if they pop my chick.
I'm laughing in my head because it's just funny. It's just the only guy.
Look, I'm definitely that kind of person. I don't want, if I walk in somewhere with you and there's someone that you've been with, I want to know straight up. I'm not the kind of person that doesn't want to be the person that doesn't know in the room or anything like that. And I don't think I would I don't mess around with people in relationships, and if they're in a relationship or something and it does happen, because it has happened, I'm not trying to damage the relationship. I'm not trying to be that person that goes to the guy and says something, but I also am not the person that's going to keep doing that either. If it happens once, I don't get myself usually involved in those things again. Usually. It's what it is.
Guy to come have the conversation.
Also, because if you do, like, when I get involved with a girl, I'm like, okay, well, what can the end game be? I don't want necessarily to be bad. And if it's something they don't notice until later, like what happened to me in my last relationship, I'm like, fuck. Didn't sign up for this.
With you about a chick that you're into pre him smash. Yo, is this your chick? Like, how
Right.
much really though? Yo, you
Yeah.
beat,
Clearing
you
it up.
You fucked up.
yeah.
Yo,
Clearing
I like her a lot.
He clearing it
Yeah,
up.
fam, that's
Because
mine. That's mine.
But that's still, I know.
So is there anything
Yo,
here?
you good? Like, you you alright? Water. You get what I'm saying? If you say it's good,
Parks getting ready to get married said, "Yo, nah, don't fuck with that one." It should be like,
fam, you got it. Because again, it could be somebody that holds a special place in your heart.
Somebody that's working the rides.
Don't care about that.
Teeth.
Oh, I thought you said something about yours.
What does that mean?
Nothing if it means.
He was talking with people at the fair not having teeth that operate the vehicles. He said you go and get an Italian sausage and leave.
What does that mean?
Nothing if it means nothing.
Terrible.
First of all, when you realize you're paying great adventure prices at the fair,
The operators.
not how he lost his teeth. And
Okay, so yeah, I think that's going to be the end of this video. I just wanted to talk about that real quick because I think it's an important topic, like boundaries in a relationship and like when are they set. Definitely comment below, let me know if you guys set boundaries early in a relationship, if you guys don't put up boundaries early in a relationship, if you guys ever even want to talk about that. Comment below, let me know, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.